Good morning, my name is Keisha Maddox, and today we'll be looking at the communication breakdowns in socio-technical systems theory and how it can relate to organizations today. A brief overview of the presentation today. First, we'll be looking at general systems theory and how it can be translated into socio-technical systems theory. Once we've done that, we'll be reviewing the main assumptions of the theory, including past applications and successes and failures of the theory. We'll review the specifics of my organization, including external and internal systems and subsystems, review the breakdowns of the systems presently and the difficulties of our current system, and how socio-technical systems theory could help with these difficulties. General systems theory is concerned with a systematic theoretical framework for describing general relationships of the empirical world. That's a quote from an article called Systems Theory and Management Science by Johnson. It discusses how the ultimate goal is to create a framework that could tie all disciplines together in a meaningful way, and is designed to take the interactions of all individual parts and piece them together, because no organization can exist within a bubble. General systems theory was founded by Ludwig von Bertalanffy. He was an Austrian biophysicist, and he taught his theory while visiting the U.S. prior to the Second World War, to the Nazi Party during the Second World War, and later he moved to Canada, where he continued teaching the theory. He was able to successfully apply his theory from the hard sciences, such as biophysics, to the softer social sciences, such as management theory. He was quoted as saying it is necessary to study not only parts and processes in isolation, and what he's meaning by that is that you can't look at the problems of an organization and the problems that they're having without worrying about the context that they're contained within. More specifically, though, in this presentation, we'll be looking at socio-technical systems theory, which is an off-branch of the general systems theory. General systems theory is thought of as the soft sciences meeting hard engineering. What is meant by this quote is the soft sciences that they are referring to are really the people, and the hard engineering more so the technology. This quote can be found in the book Command and Control: The Sociotechnical Perspective by Jenkins, Stanton, and Salmon. It truly stresses the importance of thinking of social systems such as the people, habitual attitudes, and their values in conjunction with the more technical ones, such as technology and any machinery being used in the process. If one versus the other is optimized instead of in conjunction, when one is disregarded, then situations such as the English coal mines and that the Tavistock Institute had dealt with will occur. Joint optimization is truly the key to success. Two of the key points to examine with socio-technical systems theory are both quoted by Johnson in his book, and the first being that the interaction of social and technical factors creates the conditions for successful or unsuccessful system performance. And this really truly shows in the Institute with Tavistock Institute and the English coal mines. When technology was introduced to the workers, productivity decreased rather than increasing. This points to the joint optimization is required so neither social nor technical becomes so unpredictable that it is self-destructive. When introducing a new technology or a way to do things, it's necessary to also examine how this could affect the workers and not simply think that the technology will be a cure-all. The major successes for socio-technical systems theory truly showed through with the Tavistock Institute and the English coal mines. By redesigning the work roles to provide the worker with increased autonomy and feelings of self-worth, they were able to increase their productivity prior to that was before the technology was introduced. And this higher productivity obviously led to a better increased wealth for the company, as well as better attitudes for the workers. Now that we've briefly touched on both general systems theory as well as the more specific sociotechnical systems theory, let's now examine my systems within my organization so that we may apply the theory. The systems that we'll be looking at could be external or internal. My organization is a federally funded insurance carrier, so our external systems do include a lot of legal systems. With insurance, you're always going to be dealing with the HIPAA, and electronic health records are becoming more prevalent as well. Being that we are a federally funded agency, funding through Congress is always a legal concern of ours. Our provider network is external. We are not an HMO that has providers within our specific system. They are a provider network. The technology includes both the EHRs as well as typical security measures. We do encounter competition, as in our contracts are federally funded, we must bid upon them, and being that we are federal insurance, we also deal closely with the Veterans Administration. Our internal systems, as most places do, we have a customer service department. For insurance, we do have a claims department as well. Our legal department deals with any HIPAA issues as well as many power of attorneys. We have an HR, like most organizations do, and being that we're dealing with a lot of technical issues, at times we do have our own IT department too. Well, we've now reached the point in this presentation where we're going to take a look specifically at the locations within my organization that we're going to be applying sociotechnical systems theory. So we'll be looking at the social and the technical internal systems. On the social side, we're going to examine two separate departments. We're going to look at our claims department and our customer service. The main issue that we want to try to have sociotechnical systems theory solve is that the only communication with our claims department is via email. Now, that might not be a problem with most agencies, but we'll look at more specifically why that's an issue here. Our customer service department, we have selective hiring practices, which may seem like a good thing at first, but it limits our job pool and causes problems with not having enough workers. Within the claims department, the only communication being via email is problematic because we don't generally get a response from them. Within our customer service department, as we were speaking, even though the selective hiring practices are in place, we're also treated as fairly disposable. So we're also losing people a lot because our organization isn't willing to adapt. Under the technical aspect, as we said, our communication with our claims department is only via email. We have no way of knowing whether that email has been read, and the system that the emails are sent within does not communicate within the system for every other department. So nobody else has a way of knowing for certain that an email was sent to them. And within our technical realm as well, our documentation was optimized without any consideration to workers, similar to introducing the technology to the English coal mines. It actually slowed down our work rather than increasing productivity. Now, our current problems that we were examining, our system really seems to be handled more as a scientific management approach, and Leopold is quoted as saying, at its core, scientific management is concerned with how fast things can be accomplished. This can be related to, as we discuss, our optimization of documentation for our information, with them thinking that it would be optimized. However, no consideration was given to how the worker would actually use this documentation tool. The use of email to an external group you would think would assist with speed, which seems to be what the organization is concerned with. However, when we receive no response, it actually slows things down and causes repeated issues. Also, We don't have any employee groups to discuss problem solving because that was simply not the way to do things in the scientific management approach. Scientific management also concentrates on Taylor's first-class man, and they're expected to perform at top speed consistently. That's simply not realistic and often results in a poor employee morale and a high turnover rate. This high turnover rate obviously is bad for business, but it's also very stressful for any individual that is presently working within the organization. How can sociotechnical systems theory assist with the problems with lack of communication, optimization of technology only? Well, the first thing that we would want to do is we'd want joint optimization. Sociotechnical systems theory really stresses joint optimization, and one of the ways that we could do that is to create an employee group, to ask employees what setup would help for them to have A+ documentation, and not simply think that they know exactly how an employee would use it, but observe how an employee would use it. Also, we'd want speed and quality to be of equal concern and not simply be worried about the fastest way to do things, but also the best way to do things. If there's no response via email, then we should have a plan B, a different way to contact the claims department to receive the response that we need in order to satisfy the customer. Also, valuing your worker is stressed. Employees are just as important as the equipment. They should be treated with respect, and their opinions should be valued. They should be discussed with when any changes are expected to occur. When you show the worker that you truly value their opinion, they're more likely to remain loyal to the company. These feelings of worth occur, and then a lower turnover rate occurs, better performance from the employees that are there. You can have an average expected performance from them instead of expecting A+ every single day when it's truly not realistic for them to perform at tip-top every single day, just as with loading the iron pigs into the coal cars with Taylor's experiments. What I truly learned when reviewing sociotechnical systems theory and applying it to my organization is that the key to success with using this theory and implementing it, or really any theory, a key to success with anything in relation to business, is clear lines of communication in both directions. Between management and the employees, or vice versa, between the employees and management. They need to be able to voice their opinions or usher in any type of change that would need to occur. Between the employees and the technology. If the optimization is occurring and new technology is coming in, employees have to be trained on how to use that, and the technology has to be set up in a way that it serves the employees as well. And also between the employees and the customers, because businesses don't exist without customers. So the customers have to be able to communicate their problems to the employees when they're speaking with them, and the employees need to be able to clearly communicate with the customers in order to solve any problems that they might be having. Both the technology as well as the customers and the employees, so the social aspects and the technical aspects of sociotechnical systems theory, truly must be provided equal weight, both for successes and for failures. Problems must be born from either one and solved by both. Summary: sociotechnical principles and philosophies have been applied successfully in a number of key domains since the Second World War. And if joint optimization continues to occur within these organizations, I feel that we will continue seeing growth within those sectors. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation today, and I look forward to any questions you might have and fielding them for you. Thank you and have a good day.